What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here or new to me, my name is Tyler Egan. I am a certified personal trainer. And honestly, I'm just a dude who is in love with the human body. I love learning about how it moves, how it's supposed to function, how muscles are supposed to work, the fascia, all of it. I love every single aspect of it. So today I want to go over just one thing I could pass along to you guys. If I could go back in time and just slap the shit out of myself and ingrain in my head, and it's how to properly engage your core. Because you see, there's this misconception that our core musculature is just our visible six-pack, and that couldn't be further from the truth. In our midsection alone, we have our transverse abdominis, which runs right below your belly button area. We have our visible six-pack, the rectus abdominis. We then have our internal and external obliques, which are on our sides here. We have our serratus anterior, which attaches to our shoulder blade and comes around and it runs right underneath our armpit. So that's the main part of our core, right in here. From here, we have our local core musculature, which is more in here. And then we have our global, which is lumbar multifidus. I might be saying that wrong. More like the erector spinae, those large back muscles that run up our spine. Then we have the pelvic floor muscles that are deep inside your pelvis. These are the muscles that you use when you have sex, or better yet, when you take a shit. Then we have our diaphragm, which is what we're supposed to use to breathe. Do you sit down a lot? When we sit down, a lot of things are happening. One of the biggest issues is we tend to breathe through our mouths instead of through our nose. When we breathe in through our nose and out through our mouths, or just out through our nose as well, we activate our diaphragm. Our diaphragm fills our belly up with air and then compresses it out. I may be phrasing that wrong, but our diaphragm is responsible for proper breathing. When we don't breathe properly through our diaphragm, we tend to breathe through our mouth more, which doesn't allow a lot of oxygen to get throughout our entire body and can lead you into a constant state of fight or flight. It's not a good thing, my friends. So you want to breathe through your nose. Your diaphragm is very important when it comes to properly bracing your core. If you're doing a heavy squat day, heavy bench day, heavy deadlift day, you need to properly brace your core. You need to create intra-abdominal pressure. In order to do that, you need to be able to breathe through your diaphragm. So you want to make sure you're breathing in through your nose. Then we have our global core musculature. We have the QL muscle. I'm not going to pronounce that name because I always say it wrong. We have our psoas major, which is a huge hip flexor that runs right in the front here, attaches to our pelvis and attaches to our abs. The glute medius, lateral hip muscle, our hip stabilizer. It stabilizes our knee as well. Very important muscle to understand how to activate. And then we have our adductor complex. More muscles that are attached and work in unison with our core. Our glutes, our quads, our lats. So understanding how to activate all this is so important. I'm going to overlay a clip here of me actually demonstrating exactly what to do to activate your core musculature. Okay, so in order to do this, you need to activate the transverse abdominis, that muscle that lies underneath the visible six-pack that's underneath your belly button area. You want to pull your belly button back towards your spine, and you want to make sure you keep your pelvis underneath of you, your glutes slightly engaged, and your ribs are stacked over top. This is important, over top of your pelvis. You need to make sure you're getting proper thoracic spine extension. When people tell you to pull your shoulders down and back, you really need to extend through your upper back, through your thoracic spine. This is important because a lot of people pinch their shoulder blades down and back, but their head's still shooting forward. That's not good either. You're going to put a lot of stress on your neck, and your muscles aren't actually activating in the way they're supposed to. You need proper thoracic spine extension. You need to stand up tall with your chest out in front. What all of this actually does is allows you to maintain a neutral spine. Again, this is important because if you start to overextend your back, you're going to be overactivating erector spinae muscles and going to be basically turning your glute muscles off, as our hips are our powerhouse. They attach to so many muscles. So many muscles work together with our hips. Not just the glutes, which are the biggest and most powerful muscle in our body, but our quads, our hamstrings, our adductors, and our abductors. Our adductors, which move our knees closer to the midline of our body, and our abductors, which move them further away from the midline of our body. So this is important to understand. The second you start to overextend your back and your pelvis sinks back, you're turning your glutes off. There you go. The strongest muscle in your body now not doing a damn thing. So in order to be able to activate the right muscles, you need to maintain a neutral spine and you need to protect that spine. Our spine is very fragile, especially in the lower part of our body. There's not much protecting it. So it's important to make sure you're activating your core properly. Our core, our actual core, the entire thing protects our spine. So this is very, very important to understand, okay? So this protects our spine, gets us in a neutral position, and it'll allow you to create that intra-abdominal pressure I was talking about. With that neutral spine, you fill your belly up with air, and you essentially turn on your diaphragm to a point where it stabilizes the bejeebies out of your midsection, allowing you to transfer force from your lower extremities up to your upper extremities. So when you're doing a deadlift, you're driving through the ground and you're trying to push the weight up. In order to drive that energy, drive that force up, you need to have a properly stable core. So that way the energy flows up the kinetic chain from your feet up into your upper extremities, which are trying to lift the bar up the ground. Now again, keeping your core musculature nice and tight will allow you to not only transfer the energy, but protect your spine. Because, I mean, if you're doing a heavy deadlift, no matter how big or small you are, no matter how much weight it actually is, it can put a lot of stress on your spine. So this is important to understand. Guys, that is all I can think about off the top of my dome about why this is so important. This is the one thing, and I'm telling the one thing I wish I could have ingrained in my skull when I started. When I first started to understand how to properly brace my core, like pull my belly button back, engage my abs, I started to flare my rib cage up, which is turning so many muscles off. My upper abs weren't even engaged. And now if you follow along on my YouTube channel, you've seen a couple videos where I've talked about my hip shifting issue. My hips are so fucked up because of all this. So this is important to understand, guys. Our body is a kinetic chain. That is the name for the human movement system. Basically what this means is everything's connected. So one issue at your foot can lead its way up the kinetic chain and cause issues in your thoracic spine area, or your chest, your shoulders, your neck. That's just how our body functions. It is all interconnected. All of our nerves, muscles, and organs, everything is encased in this thing called fascia. It's just basically the sheet of tissue that covers all of it. And if there's a stiff area in one spot, it can lead to an issue in another one. You just heard something crack. So guys, that's the video. I hope you guys took something from this, especially if you are a new lifter. If you guys are looking for a personal trainer, somebody to help guide you in programming, nutrition, mobility, something people tend to forget, please reach out to me in the comment section. My email address, all my other social media platforms will be in the show notes, or no, what's it called? The notes section. But they'll be down below. Check me out, reach out. I'm taking on clients, and I will see you guys in the next video.